Hey there, do-it-yourselfers. Today I'm going to replace this ceiling fan with something that's a little bit more modern. I'm going to start off by shutting off the power by flipping the breaker. Now I'm just going to remove all the bulbs and shades. Alright, now I'm just going to remove these blades. Now I'm going to remove those screws and we'll drop the ceiling fan from the box. Right now I'm not going to be reusing this ceiling fan, so I'm just going to cut the wires. I'll just drop it like that. Just like that. Okay. This is the ceiling fan we'll be putting up right now. It's a Harbor Breeze Grace Bay, and it comes with the light kit, and it also comes with LED light bulbs. And we'll get to hanging it right now. Here's the instruction manual. And these fans should be reversible. And so you have a dark brown, and then you have kind of like a, almost like a driftwood type of thing. Alright, there's 3 different mounting options if you have an angled ceiling. It'll work on an angled ceiling. There's the flush mount, will be hanging it like that, and then you could also use a down rod with it. Alright, the first thing we have to do is remove this bracket right here from the canopy right here, and we do that just by removing these screws. Drop them in there so I don't lose them. You have 2 on the other side as well. Okay. And then the mounting bracket just pulls out from the canopy. Alright, now it's time to secure the mounting bracket to the outlet box, and it's a little bit of a disappointing surprise here, but it says secure mounting bracket to outlet box not included, using screws, spring washers, and flat washers provided with the outlet box. Most ceiling fans and light fixtures that I've installed in the past have come with the screws to mount the bracket to the box, but evidently you don't get the screws here. Fortunately, I have an assortment of machine screws, and I think I have the screws in here that I could do this. Okay, now I'm screwing the mounting bracket into the outlet box, and I'm just making sure it's even on both sides. Okay, now we're up to step 5. We have to remove the motor screws and lock washers from underside of motor housing. And that's these clips right here, preventing it from spinning. So with a Phillips head screwdriver, just going to take these clips out. Set them aside. There's actually 3 of them. One more. Just take them out. Okay, being that I'm doing a flush mount or close mount, I skipped to page 11 and remove pre-assembled canopy cover from bottom of canopy. So that's the canopy right there, and this is the canopy cover. So we have to remove that. And it says to use a flathead screwdriver if it's a little difficult to get out. So let's see if I can just get a flathead under there and just pops out like that. Okay, now it says to remove every other pre-assembled screw and lock washer from the top of the motor housing. So this is the motor housing right here. This is where your light would go, and this is where your fan is. So this is the top of it. And we have 1, 2, 3, we have 6 screws on the top right here. And it says to remove every other one. So we're going to remove every other one like the instructions say, and we'll see what happens. We want to keep, it has a little washer on it, so we want to keep these together. Make sure we don't lose it. Every other one. Okay, so the next step is to run the wires through the canopy and mount the canopy. But what I noticed here is there's these screws here. You notice these 2 screws here, and these are for the down rod if you were using a down rod, and they're in the way, so I can't get the canopy on. So they failed to tell you that those should probably be removed, so I'm going to remove them. Set those aside. And now with them removed, I should be able to slip that canopy on no problem. So I'll run the wires through just like this. Put the canopy down. And now with those 3 screws we took out, now we're going to screw the canopy in. Alright, now in the mounting bracket there's a little clip or tab sticking up right there, and I have to lift up the motor and kind of hang the whole assembly on that clip. And I advise you to be careful because you don't want the whole thing go crashing to the ground. Okay, now there's a couple of ways to wire the fan depending on circumstances in somebody's house. The first way is the fan and light are controlled by a pull chain, and that's going to be my situation because I don't have a wall switch for the ceiling fan, but there's other options. As you can see, 1B over here, fan controlled by pull chain, light by wall switch. So you could have the light on a wall switch and the fan by a pull chain, or over here, fan and light controlled by 2 wall switches. I don't have either one of these options, so I have to use option number 1, where everything is going to be powered off of the pull chain. These are the 3 wires coming from the ceiling fan, and they give you a lot of wire. I don't need all of this, so I'm going to trim it down. And I'm just going to strip the insulation from the wires. Okay, so this is the blue and the black coming from the ceiling fan, and I'm going to hook that up to the black wire coming from the ceiling. So once again, blue and black from the ceiling fan going to the black, which is the hot, coming out of the ceiling. All right, so to review, we have the green hooked up to the copper. That's my ground. We have the white and the white hooked up together right here, and the black and blue to the black. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to wrap my wires with electrical tape. And now I do the white. Okay, now the tricky part is mounting the ceiling fan to that bracket. And we're going to use the 4 screws that we took out in the beginning of the video that were in the canopy. So what's best is if you put a screw right in here and a screw on the other side, and then you could kind of, it's open, so you could kind of slip it on like that, you see? I'm doing that with one hand. So now I'll tighten this screw, I'll put the other one in, and then I'll go to the other side and tighten the other 2 screws. The whole tricky part is just getting your screwdriver or drill in there without dropping the screw. Okay, now I'm on the other side, and you can see I had that screw locked in there. There's an open slot right here, so you could just slip that on. So the other 2 screws on the other side of the fan are tight. Now I just have to put these 2 in and tighten them. Okay, now we have to attach the blade to the blade arm. And you have 2 choices. You have like a dark brown, and this is kind of like a grayish brown or a driftwood. So this is the side that we want to face down and we want to see. So we're going to line up these 3 pegs in the blade arm into these 3 slots of the blade. Just like that. And then flip it over. Now you get these felt washers. So we're going to take 3 of them. And we're just going to line them up over the holes, just like that. And these aren't actually felt, they feel more like a cardboard. And then we're going to take 3 screws out of the bag. And we're going to screw them in, but we're not going to tighten them too much just yet. One more. And we're just going to hand tighten all of them. And then I'm just going to very slowly with my drill do the center one first. Notice how slow I'm going. I'm not going fast. Just like that. And then we'll do it for the rest. We'll do the same thing for the rest of the blades. These motor screws that I took out in the beginning of the video, and these blocks that prevented the ceiling fans from spinning, we need these screws. And evidently there's more screws that we should have taken out. Probably, I mean, it's not too big of a deal. But these screws right here, if I spin it around, you can see we have a few more. That's what holds the ceiling blade bracket into the motor itself. So I'm going to have to remove those now, and then we'll mount the blades. Now I'm just taking the rest of these screws out. And being careful not to drop them. Helps to have a magnetic tip. All right, now if you're doing this yourself, it could get a little tricky trying to hang these blades. So what I find is if you drop a screw in like that, and then you take your screwdriver like that so it holds it in place and flip it up, and then you just kind of line it up and slowly put one in. You could usually get away with it. And then I'll take the other screw. Again, it helps if you have a magnetic tip. And then we kind of got to line it up. That's the tricky part. I'll loosen that just a little bit. So if you're by yourself, that's kind of the way to do it. So we got 2 up and we have 3 more to go. Okay, now I'm getting ready to hook up the light kit. And on the right side is a white wire, and on the left side is a blue wire. And if I come down here to the light kit, we have a white wire and a black wire, and both have connectors on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the white to the white and connect that, and the black to the blue. Okay, so here's the black and here's the blue, and these should just push on just like that. And then here's the white. Here's the white over here, and again they should just push on just like that. And now the light kit is connected. Okay, now there are 3 screws in the light kit that I'm going to take out, and I'm going to be careful not to lose them because we need those to secure the light kit. So, there's one. I already took out another one, so I just have one more to do over here. So let's do that. Make sure not to lose it. Okay. Now another tricky part of this whole process is shoving the wires up in there and then getting the screw in. It's kind of tricky to get and get threaded while you're kind of holding it in place, but I think I got it. That's my watchdog. Alright, so there's one. Now we have 2 more to go. Okay, now we got 1 more. Okay, so good and tight. I'm going to take these rings off the socket because that holds the shades in place. Okay, now I'm going to slip the shade on. I'm going to take that little ring, and with your finger, if you have a bigger hand like I have, you just gotta twirl it with your finger until it's tight. Not a lot of room to get my hand in, but that'll do. Now I'm just putting the pull chain on. You just slip one of those balls in there, and then it locks in like that. the other one. Just like that. Okay, now they come with these LED bulbs, which is nice. I didn't have to buy bulbs. I don't know how much light they're going to throw, but we'll find out in a second. There's the ceiling fan installed, and now I'll give it a little light so you can see what that looks like. So it gives a good amount of light, and now I'll just turn it on so you can see it in action. Alright, there's the fan in action. It looks good. Provides the room with a nice breeze. And there's one more look without the light turned on. I think it's a pretty big improvement from the other ceiling fan we had. It was a little dated. Makes it a little bit more modern and goes with our decor a little bit better. As always, please subscribe. Happy home improvement, and I'll catch you next time.